My name is Carl Hinder, and you're listening to the Salon Help Good to Go podcast, the podcast for salon and spa owners who are looking to grow. The only thing stopping you is you. Episode 45, The Autopsy. Okay guys, so I said autopsy, not biopsy. So a biopsy is something you have when you're dead, okay? And your business shouldn't be that bad. It's an autopsy. An autopsy is an analysis, if you like, of your business. And I want to talk to you about it because you get at this time of the year and you're going to be all in terms of hands-on activity. And we talked about that in the last podcast. But what do you do when any month, in fact, any week, any day, any project, any year, anything you do at all doesn't work to the level that you want it to? Well, you build an autopsy. You analyze what you need to do. So this is what I say to the salon owners, spa owners, clinic owners that I work with, especially in your peak periods. Now, Christmas isn't the peak period for everyone. In fact, when I had my salons, our peak period in terms of sales, gross sales and profit for that matter, was May. It wasn't December. Of course, we did have a 3 or 4 week window, end of November and December, where we were extremely busy. And we did peak, if you like, in terms of our retail because of the gift options that we took advantage of. But for you, this could be at any time at all. I would highly recommend that you have the autopsy system every week and every month. And it's this simple. What you need is a piece of paper or a book or a program. Yeah, you can do it on a spreadsheet, do whatever you want. And it's as simple as having an autopsy written at the top, and down the left-hand side, it says all the good things that happened. And down the right-hand side, it just says all the things, I wouldn't say bad things, all the opportunities that I missed, or circumstances which I wasn't in control of, or circumstances which I was in control of. You see, this is what you want to be doing. We're going to go into the Christmas period. Most of us are in it already, okay? We're up to our necks in clients and products and gift vouchers and, Christmas songs and tinsel and God knows what, and we're having a great time, and that's fantastic. But who's keeping an eye on the things that will matter next year? Let me give you an example. If you don't write down that, all the overtime that you gave, let's say you did, 200 hours of overtime for your team or 20 hours, and only half of it was filled. Well, if you don't make a record of that, next year, you might make the same mistake again, because empty time is a loss in profits, right? So what you got to do is you got to say to yourself, what went right with my operation today? We ran out of products. Now, if you ran out of products, say gift packs on the 1st of December, and you ordered, 24, well, then you can write onto your autopsy, well, next year I'm going to get 36, or I'm going to get 48. But you won't remember that this time next year, or you won't remember it in September when you maybe putting your Christmas orders in. You'll just probably order the same amount again unless your memory is amazing. You won't remember how you utilized overtime. You should have your front of house or whoever's answering the phone writing down missed appointments that you turned away because you didn't have enough capacity in your business. Now, when you look at the autopsy, and you write into the autopsy, we turned away 2 cut and blow dries, we turned away 2 facials, then that doesn't mean that you got to change much about your business. But what if you're sat there and you got this autopsy in your hand, and I'll tell you when to look at it in a moment. You got this autopsy in your hand, and it says you turned away 25 services. 50 services, 100 services, you get the idea, right? You can now work on information. So you need this autopsy every single day. You need it all throughout November. You need it throughout December in particular, because that's the peak period for most businesses. But there's no reason why you shouldn't be operating that throughout the year, the autopsy system, because maybe you give too many summer holidays to your team. Maybe you say, well, I've given 2 members of staff the week off, and you're turning away people, or your sales plummet by 20%. If you don't make a record of it, how are you ever going to remember it? Now, let's just stick with Christmas because I wanted to do something nice and soft and easy for you. I didn't want to kind of dive into sales today because, look, we've just spent 48 weeks or whatever it is, 47 weeks coaching salons and spas and clinics on how to grow and develop their sales and business. You're not going to do much more in the next 3 weeks in terms of new activity. You just need to implement all the things that you're aware of. But the autopsy might be something new to you, or you might have heard me talking about it before and you never used it. Simply a book, a sheet of paper, an online system of some type where you got good and bad things, a list of things that went well and a list of things that could have gone better. And you record it every day. You must brief your teams about this. This can't be a simple collation of what you have observed. You've got to brief the teams every morning. Listen, guys, write it in the book today. If we run out of some stock, write it in the book. If a client says there's a problem with something, write it in the book. If something changes, if you run over, if we have a lot of cancellations, whatever it is, write it in the book. Put it on the screen, put it on your sheet, whatever it is. What I want you to do, that was a big deep breath there, wasn't it? What I want you to do is collate, and I mean everything. If the weather's raining, write it down. If the weather's sunny, if it's snowing, whatever it is, if something changes in on the political scene on the TV, write it down. Go and have your Christmas, guys. Once you've get a Christmas Eve or whatever it is you got planned or scheduled, go and have your Christmas. When you get back, whether that's 2 or 3 days after Christmas or in the new year, first thing I want you to do is get this autopsy out, and I want you to have a team meeting with your team, right? Even if there's only 2 of you. Yeah, say, listen, we're going to book an hour out, we're going to book 2 hours out, we're going to sit down and we're going to go through all of this, and we're going to write it into a report where we both understand it, because I still got a fresh memory. Yeah, we can still talk about things we ran out of and start to formulate what you are going to do for next December or next November, whichever period this is affecting. So basically I'm saying to you is start your Christmas planning in January. Sounds crazy, but the only way you can have a better Christmas next year is by correcting all the things that didn't go as well, and obviously you replicating the things that went really well. Maybe you had the right staffing hours. Maybe you should have opened on the Monday before Christmas. Maybe you should have opened the Sunday. Maybe you should have more late nights. Maybe you should have done less late nights. Sit down with your team, put it into a report that day. Now you can put it aside. The only things I want you to pull out of that is any learnings that could affect any other week of the year. So if maybe you've got lots and lots of phone calls all the time or requests for appointments at 8 o'clock in the morning, but you don't open till 9. Well, if you had something like that in there, well, that might be something to rectify for the whole year ahead. But let's assume that your standard operation is currently seen to be stable and sound. Now we're going to move this autopsy and say, I'm now going to file it. I'm going to move it to the filing cabinet. This is where it's going to sit. Bear in mind, you've already done one analysis. Then what I want you to do is grab the same report in August. Yes, in the middle of the summer. I don't care if it's a half a day in the morning or an evening session. Get together with your team and say to them, right, let's prep for Christmas. In August, guys. Yeah, if you can, at the latest, absolute, and to me this would be too late, but the latest this meeting should happen would be the first week of September. But in August, find yourself half a day where you get it all out again and you go through it. And in August, you set the things that you need to change. So maybe this year you're going to shut between Christmas and New Year, and you know that because we know that loses you a lot of profit, right? Maybe you're going to say to them in August, half of us are going to be working in that period. Even if it's 2 of you, one of us will work in this period, and we'll have an extra weekend off somewhere else. work it as you're going to. But in August, you get this autopsy out and you work your way through it. You say, we needed double the amount of gift packs. Well, then you get hold of the supplier in August, early September, and you actually phone up and say, I want 48 gift packs instead of 24 this year. Maybe you ran out of foil. You put it on your Christmas shopping list. Let's double up on the foil for this year. Okay, and you put that on your Christmas shopping list. Maybe you ran out of colour, base 7s or something. I said, right, we're going to get an extra 6 base, but do it all. Yeah, do it all on a plan in August. You might have to execute it a little bit into September. I understand that, especially if you've got cash flow issues or anything like that. Whatever it is. So if you're going to change the hours for Christmas, if you're going to be changing prices, how about prices, guys? Put on your autopsy that your prices were too low for Christmas. If you are changing your prices, by the way, on January the 1st, that only tells me that your Christmas prices were too low. Yeah? Because if they were correct, then they were still being correct on January the 1st. So you want to put in your autopsy, Christmas prices need checking earlier. So you need to check them in August, September. So we can make sure we go into Christmas with the right pricing. So here are all the things that you use to grow and develop your business. Now, in my salons, this would have been a big tool that would have been used at the end of May, because there was 2 bank holidays, or it still is 2 bank holidays normally. We get the end of May, we got the autopsy out. Okay, so we sat down in June. Right, let's make this look like a really sensible approach. We get back in the new year, and then around February, March, we would pull that out again and say, we've got to make May bigger and better than it was before. I hope this is making sense to you. The autopsy system, unless you've got the memory of an elephant, I think that's the saying, you are going to miss opportunities unless you work on the autopsy basis. So something nice and easy for you to work on over Christmas. Brief your team. Tell them, let's write down everything that goes well and everything that didn't go so well, or any opportunities that we missed. And then go and have a little Christmas break. In January, first week, dig it out whilst everything's fresh in your mind and put a Christmas plan together. The Christmas plan happens in January, and then in August, towards the end of August, first week of September perhaps, you get it out and say, here's the plan that we built, let's execute it. And that's all for this week. Thank you for listening to the Salon Help Good to Go podcast. Now take a look in the show notes for some useful links, and please let other salon owners know that I'm here every Sunday at 4 p.m. trying to kickstart your week. Thanks very much for listening, and I will see you on the next episode.